What do Poles really hate about Germans? For many, it's not just one thing, it's a whole mix of history, culture, and politics. There's the pain of World War II that still feels fresh in families, the frustration over Germany downplaying responsibility, and the anger about reparations never truly paid. Then there's the cultural side. How Germans are often seen as arrogant or looking down on Poland, treating Polish workers as second class, or acting like Poland is just their backyard. Add to that Germany's cozy past with Russia and its heavy hand in the EU, and you can see why many Poles feel uneasy. Today we're diving into all of it. What really bothers Poles about their Western neighbor, and why those feelings run so deep. Let's start with the elephant in the room: history. Poland's modern relationship with Germany can't be separated from World War II. It's not just about textbooks or museums, it's about trauma passed down through families. 6 million Polish citizens lost their lives, cities like Warsaw were flattened, and entire communities vanished forever. Yet when Poles look at how Germany talks about that era, there's often frustration. Germans tend to use the word Nazis instead of Germans, as if the crimes were committed by some faceless group detached from the nation. For Poles, that feels like shifting blame. After all, it wasn't aliens who invaded Poland in 1939, it was Germany. Do you see the problem? It feels like the suffering is acknowledged, but the responsibility is softened. Connected to that is the issue of reparations. You'll hear this in Polish politics and everyday conversations. The damage Poland suffered was catastrophic, and yet, unlike other countries, Poland never really received proper compensation. Germans argue the matter is closed legally. Poles argue it's about morality and justice, not just contracts. So when Germany brushes this off, many Poles see it as dismissive, as if their suffering wasn't worth as much as others. Can you imagine how that might feel? But it's not all about history. Culture plays a big role too. There's this stereotype that Germans are overly rigid, obsessed with order, bureaucracy, and rules. For Poles, who tend to value flexibility, creativity, and finding clever workarounds, that German style can come across as cold or arrogant. And arrogance is a word you'll hear often. Many Poles feel that Germans see Poland as less than, less developed, less modern, a sort of younger cousin who should be grateful for German investments. That stinks, especially because Poland has grown into one of the fastest rising economies in Europe. Now, let's talk about stereotypes in the other direction. Many Poles working in Germany say they're treated as cheap laborers, good enough to build houses, clean hotels, or work in factories, but not really respected. Worse, there's the old stereotype of Poles as thieves, which still lingers in jokes and media. Think about how insulting that feels when you're a hardworking person building a life abroad. It's not just offensive, it's humiliating. And then there's politics. This is where the relationship gets messy. Many Poles resent Germany's past closeness to Russia, especially in terms of energy policy. The Nord Stream pipelines, for example, felt like Germany was cozying up to Moscow while ignoring Central Europe's security concerns. For Poles, who know all too well what Russian aggression looks like, that was a betrayal. On top of that, Germany's strong role in the European Union can feel heavy-handed. When German politicians criticize Poland's internal politics, some Poles hear it less as constructive feedback and more as Berlin telling Warsaw what to do again. But let's bring it down to the everyday level. Talk to Poles about German tourists and you'll hear mixed feelings. On the one hand, tourism is great for the economy. On the other, there are complaints about Germans acting like Poland is just their backyard. Loud, sometimes patronizing, sometimes behaving like everything here is theirs to judge. Small things, yes, but small things pile up, don't they? Now, before we go any further, let me ask you something. If you're Polish, do any of these points resonate with you? Or maybe you disagree completely? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective because this conversation is bigger than just one script. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to The Poland. We dig into the real stories behind culture, history, and identity in a way that's honest, sometimes uncomfortable, but always respectful. Here's the twist though, it's not just hate. That's too simple. Alongside resentment, there's also admiration. Many Poles respect German efficiency, their ability to organize, their infrastructure, their strong economy. Thousands of Poles choose to work, study, and live in Germany because they see opportunities there, And let's be real, despite frustrations, Germans and Poles share trade, culture, and friendships every single day. It's complicated, like any relationship between neighbors with a heavy past. So what's the takeaway? Poles don't hate Germans as individuals. What they hate are the patterns, the dismissiveness about history, the condescension, the stereotypes, the political choices that ignore Poland's perspective. It's not personal, it's structural. And until those issues are truly acknowledged, the tension will remain. But here's the hopeful part. Conversations like this, and the honesty behind them, are exactly how walls begin to break down. If you found this video thought-provoking, give it a like. It really helps us reach more people. Share it with someone who'd find it interesting, whether they're Polish, German, or just curious about history. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into Poland's past, present, and future. Because at the end of the day, understanding each other, truly listening, that's the first step towards something better. So tell me in the comments, if you're Polish, what's one thing you wish Germans understood about your perspective? And if you're German, what do you wish Poles knew about you? Let's talk about it.